Hey guys, and welcome back to another Talking Mods episode. Today, we are back in the shop and we have a Tesla Model 3 Performance, a brand new one actually. And what we get to do is put on some cool springs. Now, we just filmed the Know Your Mods on MSS. Now, we just installed these before on a previous video, the X3M, and now we get to do it on the Tesla Model 3. Now, this one didn't come with the bump stops. I will see how that affects it. What I'm really excited to do is go for a full drive on it. Again, remember, these MSS are adjustable springs, so it makes it compliant. And again, MSS has, I'm going to be actually going to one of their summits to get more in depth with them. But I did learn a lot more that they're triple rated. So I've talked before about progressive springs. These are progressive springs that are triple rated on the rear, and the fronts are just a double, which is still pretty phenomenal. So I think, if you guys remember the X3M, it was very sure-footed. I think we're gonna find that here, but we'll see. We'll check this one out. I'm kind of excited to see how this ends up going. And let's go check this one out. Okay guys, so we're back in the car now and we've just installed the MSS springs. So they are settling out actually at the moment. So that's a major factor, but we will give you guys an impression. Now this is a performance Model 3. It's on the performance wheels, the 20-inch wheels. And they don't have as much tire on there, so it makes it a little bit less comfortable. But we're gonna go and drive this up the canyon and give you guys the impression on how it drives. We are set in sport settings, so I'm gonna be driving it pretty aggressively a little bit to really feel it. We are going in. So a lot less body roll. Almost like I can take the corners a lot harder than typically in the Model 3. If you've been in it, it's almost like feels like I've been given a scalpel, so more precise. Again, the road is a little aggressive in the canyon, so I can feel a little bit movement on the play on the back right now, so it's kind of affecting me to do some corrections. But in terms of the front settings and even the rear is still really good. Very, very good, very compliant. It's actually moving with me. So the progressive springs are definitely doing their work, especially in a canyon with, a little bit of some bumps going on here. So, but I'm taking these corners pretty quickly here. That was, especially that last dip there, handled it really, really well. So I'm gonna now give it to more of an impression here on the street. In terms of sportiness, very compliant. It could feel like, again, I almost felt like I got a coilover type of setting here, because I could feel that the shock responded to everything it needed to do. So these springs are definitely set up in the load ratings correctly. I really enjoyed it. And the main purpose of the MSS is actually to be all about the street comfort, right? And so one thing that's really interesting is that we're increasing the range actually by going lower, because our drag coefficient is far better. So one of the big factors that a lot of people seem to forget is that if you're actually lowering the vehicle, you will actually increase your range. In terms of right now driving, I'm actually going to switch the setting. And by the way, this is a brand new, this has only got 1,000 miles on it. So he immediately recognized that the car was too floaty and wanted to switch it out, and we got him the MSS Springs. It is nice. I won't say that it's like softer, because it's not softer. It's just more compliant. Like the travel is, I'm not feeling as much travel, like floatiness that I typically end up seeing in the Model 3. So there's less of that floaty feeling and more of that, hey, I know where I'm going, but it's still that same compliance. It's still got that little bit of stiffness. That would be a difference in the shock that's needed, but it's really, really good. Actually, it's weird. It's more comfortable in a sense because I'm not being moved around as much. So, so as I'm doing these talking mods, I just wanted to bring up something. Ray sits behind the camera. He's the one that helps in all the editing, and we were just discussing. You guys might remember I did the G80 M3 video, and I've done a couple other videos, and I've driven a lot of other cars. The Model 3 is a performance beast. Now, with the suspension being a tuned suspension like this one, it's freaking fast. Honestly, probably faster than the M3. It was faster. I took those turns a lot harder, a lot more sure-footed. So if you want something that rivals getting a nice tuned suspension from stock, you really feel it. And I guess I'm going to go with more of the sporty feel. Yes, it's all about the comfort. We just went over a railroad, right? And it handled it nicely still for a stock shock. I'm all about handling, but man, I could really push it a lot further just with these, with the MSS Springs, which is pretty awesome. So I give them kudos for that. I will be going to their summit. I have a lot of feedback for them on some changes and some modifications that need to be done. And I've talked about a little bit where you got to drive it for about 1,000 miles. That needs to be known for somebody installing it. But guys, if you haven't subscribed and are, you'll like this, if you like the format of this video, hit the thumb up, it helps us out. But if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really does help us grow this channel, especially if you share it. And yeah, so just wanted to give you guys some feedbacks, and I will talk to you guys on the next Talking Mods.